I'm reading from part 2 of my book, The Super Couple, A Formula for Extreme Happiness in Marriage. And in part 2 is what I actually heard the husbands and wives say in the interview after I asked them what they thought were the main ingredients of a super couple marriage. And if you're enjoying this series, if you think it's helping your marriage, if you think it can help the marriage of your children, your siblings, or someone else, please forward this video to them. Like also my channel and subscribe. As you've heard all of us podcasters say, it really does help. And what also helps is if you'd, out of the kindness of your heart, find it able to donate some cash to my ministry, my vocation of trying to save 1 million marriages before I die. Click in the link below, buymeacoffee.com. But until then, I'm really excited to let you know what are some of the things that I heard couples say were the main ingredients in their super couple marriages. And so I'm continuing today on the area where many of the spouses said, I adore my spouse. As I mentioned earlier, I adore my spouse was a phrase uttered by nearly every super wife interviewed. But what does this mean? Is it just a random and meaningless verb added to their vernacular to color their sentences, as has the word awesome become in our daily communications? Possibly, but it's doubtful because few other wives, apart from these extremely happy wives, seem to offer the same sentiments about their husbands. The dictionary definition of adore means to regard another person with utmost esteem, love, and respect. It means to honor someone. While I'm certain few, if any, of my super spouses looked up the definition of adoring before they attached the verb to their spouse, it had become unquestionable through super couple interviews that adoration was exactly what was taking place. In order to better understand what these women meant by their statements of adoration, it's essential to dig more deeply into the concepts to which adoration refers. As such, we will begin by breaking down more fully these concepts of honor, esteem, and respect. The final concept, love, will be afforded necessarily the greatest amount of discussion only afterwards for reasons both obvious and not so obvious. So let's talk about honor. The dictionary lists numerous definitions of honor beginning with the nouns, honesty, fairness, or integrity in one's beliefs and actions, a man of honor, a source of credit or distinction, to be an honor to one's family, high respect, as for worth, merit, or rank, to be held in honor, such respect manifested a memorial in honor of the dead, high public esteem, fame, glory. He has earned his position of honor. And it has equally as many definitions for the verb to honor someone, to hold in honor or high respect, to revere, to honor one's parents, to treat with honor, to confer honor or distinction upon. The university honored him with its leadership award, to worship the supreme being, to show a courteous regard for, to honor an invitation. While not all these definitions relate to the institution of marriage, it's important to list them to realize the power behind the words and commitments we've made, but have long since forgotten. And if we've forgotten the meanings of the words we speak and the promises we've made, we are also ill-equipped to comprehend their importance in our lives and most especially in our marriages. At one point, the promises to love and to honor were common marriage vows. However, at some point, and likely aided by the modern trend of couples writing their own vows, more and more couples have opted to take those words out of their marital vows. Was this out of ignorance of word meanings, born out of our attempts to modernize our promises? Or worse yet, was this born out of an actual choice to not honor our spouses at all? I'd like to believe it was the former. We just didn't think about it. We didn't think about the words to honor. Well, what if I'm wrong? What if we've taken those words out of our vows by choice? I don't want to promise to honor my spouse because what if he or she doesn't deserve to be honored? To hold an honor or a high respect for another person, to revere that person, is a choice. Many would argue that some of these need to be earned before they are freely given. And that may be true. But if you consider how many individuals we honor or revere before we know much substantive information about them, it would be clear that honor is readily distributed in our society like penny candy at a confectionery. We honor donors and who give large sums of money at our universities by naming buildings after them. I've been to numerous political events where guests pay thousands of dollars just to stand in line to shake hands and have their pictures taken with the guests of honor. And for what are they being honored? They're being honored and revered for simply holding a particular position as an elected official or simply campaigning to be one. That's it. Well, I'd like to believe most of those in office were elected for their honesty, fairness, and integrity in their beliefs and actions. Much of the time, they were elected because they had a larger sum of money to purchase political ads. Now, they may in fact have those honorable characteristics, but the average populace has no idea of the accuracy of that belief. Thus, while these people may in fact be worthy of the honor of which they are being bestowed, those honoring them know little about whether or not the honor is deserved. Consider the many congressmen and senators who have had to resign their posts in shame after having done immoral or illicit things in their private lives, dishonoring themselves and the offices they held. So honoring another is a choice. We decide to whom we wish to extend it and decide whether or not we wish to rescind it. In the case of the dishonorable public official, we will often rescind our honor after they've done something dishonorable. Fair enough. But are there positions and people that should always be held in honor or esteem regardless of the mistakes they've made? Or in other words, should honor only be conferred upon those who have never made a mistake? If that's true, who could cast the first stone? There'd be plenty of honors with no one upon whom to confer them. I certainly would not be able to earn it or maintain it. So what does that mean? Should honor and reverence be a gift freely given out of love or respect? Should it only be given when the honoree is making no mistakes or bad decisions? What if 98% of their decisions are honorable, but 2% are not? Should we then still honor her? What if half of her decisions are honorable or only 10% of them? Where do we draw the line? So let's consider our spouses. When we fell in love with them, chances are we honored and revered them greatly, totally ignoring or disregarding any or most of their flaws or failings that we may have been exposed to at that point. We were aware of the many good things that they had done up to that point, or at least based on the little that we knew, and whatever little it was we already did know of them, it was sufficient enough for them to receive our utmost honor, willingly and unquestionably. So, do you hold in honor or high respect your spouse? Do you revere him or her? Or have you chosen to stop? We likely have conferred great honor on our spouses at some point in our dating lives. Whether we once honored them and then chose to stop, or never really built a strong enough foundation to have done so initially, is less important than recognizing that super wives simply adore their husbands. I've not heard the husbands use the same phraseology, and that we should, if we seek to become super couples, consider seriously what this would look like in our own relationships. What it might look like if we did adore our spouses. And why do we not now adore them? I'll wait until the next time to continue on with esteem and respect, but I'd like you to ponder that for now. Do you adore your spouse? Do you honor them? Pray on it. Consider what caused you to stop, or if you never did in the first place, or what might stop you from honoring them now. It's a lot to ponder. I'm here if you need to talk about it. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon. Thanks for watching this Bacon Bit. And as always, remember to live your life sunny side up.